Let's welcome in California Congressman Mike Garcia and his State of the Union guest, Tanya Owen, the widow of Los Angeles Sheriff's Department Sergeant Steve Owen. Good to see you both. Congressman, we largely expect him to bring up police reform tonight, something that is going to be interesting because in the past he's talked about funding the police. What do you want and expect him to say about that tonight?
Well, I want him to reiterate that and then follow through with that. You know, the damage done by the defund the police movement, especially in areas like ours, Los Angeles County, throughout California, was real, to the point where we were seeing LAPD and Los Angeles Sheriff's Department defunded to the tune of over $100 million. So it can't just be a talking point. We need to figure out how to bridge the gap that was created by that defund the police movement. It's manifesting now in record high crime rates, record low retention within the ranks of our law enforcement officers, and record low recruiting for new cadets coming into the academies. This is why we see the spike in the crime rates that we see. But it has to be done through actually funding and putting more money behind those very simple words that he mentioned last year. My sense from listening to it last year is it was more of a throwaway within his overarching message, and that needs to be inverted this year. That needs to be the primary focal point of this nation moving forward.
Tanya, you are Congressman Garcia's guest tonight at the State of the Union. And as Sean mentioned, your husband, Sergeant Steve Owen, was killed in the line of duty in 2016 by a man on parole with 2 prior convictions. And our heart goes out to you for the loss of your husband. What do you hope that President Biden talks about when it comes to policing and crime? What does he need to talk about?
Well, this is a very serious matter. This is not just something that's affecting us in Los Angeles County, but throughout the country. We really need our leaders to support law enforcement because they are the only ones standing between good and evil. And if we don't do something to stand up for our law enforcement, we're going to be living in a country where there's anarchy. And we can't do that. It's like a freight train coming our direction, and we need to do something to stop it.
Congressman, before we do let you go, I want to ask you about this because dozens of your fellow House members have been very outspoken about the Newsmax being deplatformed. How serious do you feel like Congress is taking this?
Well, I think at least half of us are taking it very seriously, and this seems to be again a double standard in many fronts. We've been reaching out to the cable station to find out. Are they actually making money off of Newsmax? Was this a business decision, or was this strictly a vendetta, political vendetta against a news outlet that was frankly giving a voice not only to conservatives but also to Americans who are looking and are thirsty, frankly, for objective news sources, which there's not too many out there besides you all and maybe a handful of others. But so we're looking at this very seriously right now, and this is one of those things that when you deplatform someone who you disagree with, it eventually does boomerang with you, and these same entities will not like you eventually and do the same to you if you don't protect that First Amendment. It's the First Amendment, the most critical in the Constitution, and so we are going to fight like hell to make sure that this is looked at, and do a deep dive on this, and make sure that justice is served, and we're not deplatforming people for political purposes.
Congressman, Tanya, I appreciate you both being here. Tanya, thanks for spreading the word on this on such unfortunate circumstances, but you're taking this in such a way that hopefully spreading the word and making people understand why it's so important that we get the word out on this. So thank you for being here.
And if I may, Sean, she's also a detective for Los Angeles County Sheriff's for 32 years. She's served our communities as well. So she's given a lot to this nation, to our beautiful state of California. So, Tanya, thank you again for being my guest tonight at the State of the Union.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you for your service. You saw those amazing pictures of your service. Anyway, thank you both.